Good afternoon, folks. This afternoon's topic A is sedation overload in nursing homes, a deeper, fuller explanation. Here's my show for you. I have put together. Please sit back and enjoy. Okay? The article paints a stark picture of a nursing home sector stretched so thin by labor shortages that some facilities turn to sedation as a substitute for staffing rather than framing this as a moral failure alone. The piece examines it through the lens of law, regulation, and investment risk, arguing that over sedation is not only dangerous for residents but also financially catastrophic for operators who get caught violating federal standards. The legal landscape, what the law demands versus what facilities are doing. At the heart of the article is the 1987 Nursing Home Reform Law, OBRA 87, which established a foundational principle. Every resident is entitled to their highest practicable functioning. That means adequate staffing, individualized care plans, minimal use of restraints, physical or chemical. The article emphasizes that chemical restraints, sedatives, used for staff convenience, are especially prohibited unless medically necessary. Federal regulations such as 42 CFR 483.25A Appendix PP make clear that sedation cannot be used to compensate for inadequate staffing. But the reality, the article argues, it is that chronic RN shortages, some dating back decades, push facilities toward sedation as a work around a cited study showing RNs spend only 12 minutes per resident per day. Illustrates how far practice has drifted from legal expectations. The regulatory backlash, penalties with teeth. The article outlines a series of escalating consequences for facilities that rely on sedation instead of care. 1. Civil monetary penalties, or CMPs. Okay, CMS can impose fines up to 100,000 per violation, and repeat offenders risk being cut off from Medicare and Medicaid entirely. To immediate jeopardy. Citations. If sedation practices place residents at serious risk, CMS can suspend federal funding. An existential threat for facilities where 63% of costs are covered by Medicaid. Litigation exposure. Many states classify over-medication as a form of nursing home abuse, enabling families to sue for damages. The article frames this as a growing legal trend, not a hypothetical risk. Even though courts struck down newer staffing mandates, e.g., Texas versus Kennedy, where they upheld the older foundational requirement. Facilities must still meet the highest practicable functioning standard. Why investors should pay attention. The article is written for a financial audience, and it makes a blunt argument. Sedation misuse is a balance sheet risk. Facilities most likely to uphold implode financially. Low RN to resident ratios below 0.55 hours per resident a day. High Medicaid dependency, 70% Medicaid residents. Histories of compliance violations. These facilities are described as weak links that could face fines, funding cuts, or lawsuits, any of which can wipe out investor value. The opportunity where profits can be made rather than simply warning investors away. The article identifies sectors poised to benefit from the crisis. Okay, 1. Tech-enabled staffing platforms. Companies using AI to optimize scheduling, reduce turnover, or fill RN gaps, e.g., Syria Health Nurse, Grid. 2. Compliance and elder care advisory firms, consultants that help facilities navigate OBRA requirements and avoid commercial chemical restraint violations. Telehealth and virtual care solutions, tools like Teledoc that reduce the need for in-person RN interventions and help facilities manage residents without resorting to sedation. The article frames these as compliance-driven profit centers, businesses that thrive by helping facilities meet regulatory expectations rather than evade them. Root causes why sedation becomes the fallback. The article doesn't excuse sedation misuse, but it does contextualize it. RN shortages mean fewer staff to manage aggression, dementia behaviors, or mobility issues. Non-pharmacological dementia care. The gold standard is labor intensive and expensive. Financially strained facilities may see sedation as the only feasible way to maintain order. This creates a vicious cycle: understaffing, sedation violations, fines, even less money for staffing. Takeaways for different stockholders. For families and advocates, staffing ratios and compliance histories are the clearest indicators of whether a facility may rely on sedation for operators. Investing in staffing, telehealth, and compliance expertise is not optional. It's the only path to survival. For investors, avoid operators cutting corners. Invest in the companies building the infrastructure for compliant, humane care. Bottom line. Give me 1 second, folks. The article argues that sedation overuse is both a symptom and a warning signal. It exposes deep structural weaknesses, understaffing, regulatory pressure, and financial fragility. Facilities that rely on sedation to fill staffing gaps are walking into legal landmines, while companies that help solve those gaps stand to benefit. In short, regulation is tightening, staffing is shrinking, and the market is shifting towards solutions that protect both residents and revenue. Okay, guys, that's your A for this afternoon. I'll be back on with B shortly. Give me a break, please, and I'll be back on with B for you. For now, Gator Wellness, take care, folks.